Hi everyone and welcome to Made by Art. My name is Anna and I am a junk journal creator from Sweden. Today we are doing a flip through of this beautiful little journal that is made from a book, Repurposed, and the book was originally published in 1835, so it is very old. This is the eldest book I have ever worked on. I had to give it a new spine because the old one was falling apart. And you can watch the process of making this book here on this channel in my videos, almost the whole way through. It has 9 signatures and about 220 pages. The dimensions of it, before I forget, because someone might be interested, 7.5 inches by 4 3/4 of an inch, and the spine is 1.25 inches about. So that's the dimensions. 9 signatures, as I said. Hidden hollowback spine. I have sewn in the signatures with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, as I usually do. That's my way of making journals. The journal has a label holder here with the word journal in it, and that can be taken out and changed out to something else. The spine is new and covered with this red and white ticking, and then I covered that with a piece of an old doily tablecloth that I cut off. And here on the back are some little Tim Holtz labels that I put there. Otherwise I have done nothing to the cover. It is worn and torn, and this is almost 200 years old, so it will have to show, right? Let's get into the book then, shall we? I have done nothing on the inside covers except putting the end papers in, and that I did in the last video. This is the original front page. Here you can see that it is from 1835. It is very thin. I think it's rag paper, but I have one folio in each signature from the original book because I want to keep the feeling of the original book in this one. Then I have some ledger paper, tea-dyed paper. This is a piece of an old German to Swedish dictionary from 1905. Here is some writing paper, and this flips out, and here's genuine old tickets that has been held together with a pin at some point, a rusty pin, I think. You can see there. In the center of each signature I have made some franken pages, no-sew franken pages, so I just glued them. This is the first one, easy and nice. This page also flips out, and here is an image, a photograph of Selma Lagerlöf, which is a very well-known in Sweden, Swedish author. She wrote the school book in Swedish, reading book. She has actually got the Nobel Prize in Literature as well, many years ago. Here is a little pocket, a tuck spot, and this is a Tim Holtz Found Relatives, I think they're called, this series. And in here is another little, this is actually from the back of a book. And I just cut it out and rounded the corners, and then I distress inked all around it, and I think that is very cute. That goes in there. Here's the back of the first folio from the original book. More tea-dyed paper, ledger paper, and here is a flip out, and that is the first day of issue, the first side of it. That is postmarked in 1967. Here's a doily, More pages from the original book. I love the font here. It's an old family doctor book about diseases and so on. This is old writing paper lined, and this is from an old music book, school book of music from 1921. Back here is a little pocket or tuck spot with a small label that is backed on black paper, and I stamped an owl on it. I love owls. This is not a cabinet card, this is a photo I cut out of a book and then backed with paper. But it's quite thick, and you can journal on the back side. Here is the center as the rest of the second Franken page. As you can see, I have used Edith Holt's paper, Edith Holden paper. I'm so sorry, I'm tired today. We have had a birthday party today, and I'm tired. Some craft lined paper. In the center is this colibri, hummingbird, and here is a bookmark that I made from the original spine of the book. It's leather, and I have backed it with tea-dye paper. I put a hole in it and an eyelet, and then I put a little piece of ribbon. Here's the rest of that music paper, notebook, and this page flips out. This is a piece of decoupage, Tim Holtz decoupage papers. Continue here. It's very thick, this book, and it's just full of things, very full. More pages from the original book, more tea-dye paper. This has been dyed with lace on it in the sun. Here is a ledger that I folded up and made into a pocket. Put a little stamp here, and this is a little tag I put in. You can, if you like, you can journal a bit on the back side. This is pages from a calendar from 1941 in Swedish. Some writing paper. Here's a middle folio, which is a Franken paper. Pieces of a calendar and some other paper around it. Little fellow down here. Rest of the calendar. This is the other side of the ledger paper. This is me when I was a kid. I put myself in the journal. Be you bravely, it says. So you get me along with the book. This is a little journaling card I made. More tea-dye paper. Lace. This is the old fly leaves from the book, and it has the embossed of the owner, embossed signature, and it also has a signature on the back, and I attached it to this original page from the book. More tea-dye paper, more ledger. This one I have glued down the top and bottom and made it to a pocket, and I accentuated that by distress inking. Putting distress ink on it, and this is a piece of, it's actually a postcard at a blank backside, and I thought it was quite fitting here. This is also from the original book. Here is some watercolor paper, I think. This is from an old guidebook from Venice, and it is in German, and it was published in 1912. Here is the middle of the signature, and it's another Franken page. I think it's beautiful, and down here it's a small pocket. This little lady in it, a Red Cross worker or a nurse. I think she was in the Red Cross and helped fugitives during the Second World War, maybe the first, World War. A Swedish lady. So it's mixed, this book. It's lots of pages with text on it, and it's also lots of writing space, and some collages. This ledger flips out, and I have marked it with a tab up there so that you see it, that you can flip it out and journal. Lots of tea dyed paper. This one has also been dyed with a doily on it, actually, outside. Some more writing papers. This is a piece of a reproduction of an old medicine. What are they called? It's kind of a dictionary with all the medicines that you can look them up and see what they do. This one was published in 1999, but it's a reproduction of a book, but that was published 100 years before, 1899. A bit of newer ledger. Here is a little pocket, and that is Queen Victoria of Sweden, taking a photograph of her husband in front of a pyramid in Cairo. And in that pocket is a small tag I made out of an Edith Holland paper, and I put some washi tape and a bit of collage paper and things on it. It fits in there. This is also a Franken page. It's actually a Tim Holtz backdrop, or piece of it. And I thought it was fitting for the journal. Another flip up, and this is a Tim Holtz, what do you call it? Salvaged labels or something. This little page flips out, and that is some handmade paper that I attached to it. Many flip outs and flip ups and so on this book. More pages from the original book. This one flips out. And next signature. More ledger. This one also flips out. This is Princess Josephine, I think she's called. She was the wife of the first Bernadotte king in Sweden. They were adopted from France and taken here because we had no king in waiting, so we adopted them, and they are still on the throne, the Bernadotte family. More tea-dyed paper. This is from an old birthday book from 1923, and they have put in some names on it. This is some handmade paper with grass in it, and on it I have glued a receipt. This is vintage, and it is something that you would fill out and give money to kids in school to reimburse them for their, because there were no school buses and so on. If they were using their skis or bike or something, they could have a bit of reimbursement for that. The next Franken page, and this is actually an envelope that was mailed in 1953 maybe, yeah, to Sweden from somewhere, and in it I have put a little mini journal that I made, different pages in it. This is the back of the handmade paper with grass in it, and here is an old king from Sweden. I love putting royal things in my books, and since I live in Sweden, it's mostly from the Swedish royal family. And there is a little bird that's peeking out. There are some small surprises here and there. More tea-dye paper, ledger paper, pages from the original book, tea-dyed paper, and this one flips out. And here you have a Tim Holtz collage strip, I think they're called. On this ledger paper there is a small tab made out of fabric, and I have stapled it on. More pages from the original book. You can see it's really old and grungy, almost 200 years, and yellowed and blackened. I think someone spilled some ink here, and I just love it. It's gorgeous. grungy. More lined paper that flips out. This is pages from an old British book about birds from 1954. In the center is a Franken page made out of a page from a book about, I think it's called something about fields in Britain, but it's beautiful watercolor page, watercolor images in it, and I extended it with some handmade paper that I folded up and made into a pocket, and that will have a small thing in it soon. I don't know what happened. I had all the pockets filled. I thought it will be filled with a surprise. Another flip out. Another flip out. The little lady on it. Tea-dyed paper. And here on this page from the original book, I have clipped on. This hangs over the page, and you can journal on the back side as well. And this is actually a scanned copy of a cabinet card that I own. But this was scanned and printed. I did that before my printer broke. I scanned many of my cabinet cards, and then I printed them out so I can use them again and again. But now my printer is broken, so. This is another little pocket with a bird. I believe it's a wren. I believe it is. I'm not sure, but I think it is. And in it I have a little tag that I made. I have stamped and put a little label on it. This is a collage masterboard, and it is backed with some cloth paper, and I have stapled a piece of fabric there, and that is the same fabric that is in the spine. Tea-dyed paper. This is pages from an old German book, I think. Yes, it is, from 1900. Yeah, it's German. Grid paper. Here comes the next Franken page. It's based on an envelope that was very, very torn, so I opened it up and extended it on both sides with tea-dyed paper, and I think it looks great. I am quite pleased with that. I love the duck egg blue color. And I also fixed it a bit because it was ripped, and I put some washi tape on the rip because I didn't want to use cellophane tape. The back of those pages, more tea-dyed pages. This one flips out. Another one of these ledger where I have folded up the base and glued it down, and here is a tag I made. It's also one of those collage baseboards, and I have put a bit of a doily, a bird, some washi tape. I have put some lace, and I have stapled it, and a little label. I love using the collage boards to make tags. Another flip out, and here it is a quote by Jane Austen. It isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do. So true, I must say. This ledger paper flips out. You see that's a small notch there. More pages from the original book, more writing pages, and they are old and yellowed. Here is a page from an old school book in Swedish from 1922. And here is a flip out again. This is a page from my favorite book about with old photos with dogs and their owners. I just love it. There's another one on the back. I love that. So cute. Here is the last Franken page with some writing paper, a bit of Edith Holden, and an envelope. Very old envelope. And in the envelope is another reproduction. I almost said this is another cabinet card that I own, and that has been printed. And I backed on black paper. So that goes in there, for instance, or anywhere you like. This is Viktor Rydberg, which is also a famous Swedish author. At least he's famous in Sweden, and he actually came from Jönköping, which is very close to where I live. Back of the shred paper, and more ledger paper that flips out, and there's coupons glued there, and tea-dye paper, and that is the end of the book. It is chunky, as you can see. I think that if you want to put lots of things in it, it will be a bit alligator mouth, but then you can wrap a ribbon around it. I thought that I was going to put some kind of closure. I was contemplating putting some eyelets and washi sorry silk, but I think it's good as it is. I love it in its simplicity. And this is available in my Etsy shop when you see this. And I hope you enjoyed this flip through. I certainly enjoyed making this wonderful book. It will be hard parting from it because I love this. It's marvelous, this old one. If you like this video and like the flip through, please give it a thumbs up. Make a comment down below what you like about it and what you don't like about it. And maybe subscribe if you haven't already. I publish junk journal related contents once, twice, maybe often in the week with my Swedish accent. And I thank you all for watching. I thank you for staying here and supporting my channel, and I wish you all a great week. Bye everyone.